Mushoku Tensei has the best female characters in anime. Now that's a statement that sounds like an oxymoron, and if you forgot in 3rd grade English, that is a combination of contradictory words put together in this vast world of anime with casts like One Piece with Nico Robin, Nami, and Vivi, to casts like Bleach with Rukia, Yorochi, and Orimi, to Naruto with Sakura. In anime it seems like this, to an MC that wipes up someone after a one-night stand twice. Making a statement like Mushoku Tensei having the best female character in anime sounds like a load of fucking bullshit. And as I started thinking about it and the code started downloading in my peanut brain, I came to one conclusion: that Mushoku Tensei undoubtedly uses, understands, and elevates female characters better than any other anime. I think when breaking it down, you need to understand every character represents a different aspect of character building, and each of them have their own respective greatness, from Roxy being the strongest supporting character, to Sarah being the most relatable, to Lilia showing off the understanding of world building, to then mixing in Norn and Aisha to bring in the best dynamic in the series, to the fact that Eris could literally be the main character, and then finally Sylphie, who I think counters every single argument I'm going to make in this video and is the sole hole in my logic, but maybe not. But maybe she is. But maybe we should start with Roxy, who recently in the anime got Rudeus to cheat on Sylphie like a you-know-what protagonist, but she didn't know. Right? Roxy in essence has become a bigger poster child of Mushoku Tensei than Rudeus, but her being the strongest supporting character may cause some jarring reactions like what about Rudeus or Eris or even Paul, and that's fair. You can make an argument for all those characters, but I think there's aspects to Roxy's story that rivals the morals of Rudeus and the development of Eris. It's the fact that she's actually weak compared to Rudeus, but also is the most essential part of getting Rudeus out of his shell. What do I actually mean by that? If it wasn't for Roxy, Rudeus' bum ass, sorry ass would still be sitting moping around talking about how the outside world is scary. Little bro is hiding behind the wall. Roxy may be the definition of the meme when you introduce your friend to a game and he becomes better than you at it, but still, remember, a character's worth isn't just measured by their strength. Jesus Christ, that sounds like something Dr. K would say. Your worth isn't measured by your net worth. And if Dr. K were here, he would tell you to leave a like on this video, comment, and share it with literally everyone you know. And follow me on Twitter. But anyways, if you take Roxy out of the story, our MC literally would not be able to function in this world. And it's not like she was just used as a plot device to get Rudeus over his past, but she also grows on her own. She leaves them knowing she wants to get stronger, and even helping round up his family and allying herself with people that there's no way that Roxy at the start of the series would. And there's not many anime out there that respect their female characters enough to give them such an important role when it comes to the main character. Specifically, most of the time when female characters have highlights, it's their own individual story, or they're just someone for the MC to come and save. And even though Rudeus does save her, I guess she saves Rudeus too. I didn't mean it like that, I meant the other way. Alright, so let's jump to the most underrated character in the series, and the one that got disrespected the most, in Sarah. Now, Sarah is a character that most people forgot about. She was only in like 5 episodes, but it was nice because she was the only female character that wasn't obsessed with Rudeus from the get-go. Until, oh shit, wait, hold on, what was that? She caused him to have ED? A side character? Okay, so what exactly makes her so relatable? I think it's the fact that out of every character in this world, she is the only one that has human reactions, and is most akin to what would happen if a normal person was just dropped into this universe. Her strength level is mediocre, not bad, but nothing to write home about. She's angry that they're bringing around some brooding dingo everywhere they go, but then she eventually gets trapped with him on a mission, to then becoming infatuated with him because he saves her, to then making moves looking like she actually liked him, only for him to act like an idiot, and she actually doesn't run back to him. And I think there's something special when anime and writers in general give a character who is by all means not special at all limelight, to see how normal people in this world react, and it serves as a reminder that the main character and main cast aren't just gonna get what they want. And at any turn, you could argue that to this point in the anime, no character has come close to humbling Rudeus as bad as she did. And I think it's safe to say most fans would want to see her get checked in on later in the anime because of the fact that she made the most of her time on screen. I don't think any anime gives female characters like this the limelight to just be normal, and much like Roxy, you can see the impact Rudeus leaves on her and vice versa, which makes you sit back and go like, damn, in a world of monsters, magic, and kings, you still can't lose the tension that comes from personal relationships. So that was wholesome, but now I'm going to defend the most loyal homewrecker in all of anime in Lilia. Look, I know, how could Lilia be one of the leaders of Mushoku Tensei having the best female characters in anime? She got Paul to cheat. Yes, this is true. We can't change that, but let's be real here. Lilia actually does represent the best understanding of world in any character in the series, and even her trait of loyalty can only be rivaled by Paul. Yes, I said Paul. which is a whole nother video, which let me know down below if you want to see the argument for that. So what do I mean in terms of Lilia in the world? Well, there's a lot of anime and isekai in general where you're like, would a character like this actually exist in this type of setting? Like, would a Romy actually act like that in the world of Bleach? Probably not. But Lilia, on the other hand, is a character with flaws that is anything but pure, and this doesn't make her bad in any way, because there's a lot of characters in the world that are far from pure, like Paul, Rudeus, Elenise, the list goes on. When you look at media that take place in this setting, from Game of Thrones, Free and Witcher 3, it shows what people were like back then when it comes to sleeping around and maid culture. But she represents a female character of a fantasy world in the most literal sense possible, and the anime doesn't go out of its way to disrespect her as a character or anything like that, and instead highlights her loyalty. And I mean, she literally stuck to Paul to the very end, was even loyal to Rudeus to the point of leaving him with her daughter. I think the pinnacle scene of this happened in the anime recently when she told Rudeus to leave Zenith to her, because there's this narrative in anime that the main character is literally the only person who can do anything. Like, you know when you're playing a game and you have an AI support character that does jack shit while you're trying to take on a literal army by yourself? That's most anime side characters, and definitely most female characters in anime, but her character is far from that, and you can tell that her words have weight on Paul, Zenith, and Rudeus, and she's treated as an actual member of the family, despite the fact that she is just their maid, and most anime and media wouldn't give Lilia half the moments she does have in the series, and she has way more depth than any character in Black Clover by a landslide. I'm sorry, I like Black Clover. I was just trying to be mean. But who is next? Who is the next female legend of this series? And it's actually a duo of Norn and Aisha. The inclusion of them in the list may shock you, but the two characters create such a unique juxtaposition, and to be honest, without them, the second half of season 2 would be a lot less interesting. Their dynamic is a little basic and very, very anime-esque. One quiet, one loud, one talented, and one really not. One likes Rudeus and one wants to see him unalived in the worst way imaginable. But the thing is, the depth of these characters and the strength in the writing behind them is actually better than any character in Black Clover, and I mean that for real this time. Both Norn and Aisha have backstories and mini arcs about them, and their morals are thought through and developed. And Norn is one of the most interesting characters in the series because she was used as the ultimate learning lesson to Rudeus, and he sees himself in the mirror when he sees her. When Norn hates Rudeus with all of her being for how he was to her father, for his reputation around the school, the author is using her as the ultimate highlighter for all of Rudeus' issues, because to this point in the series where everything seems to be going right for Rudeus, it's like he can do no wrong, every character is glazing him like crazy. She's just like, nah, fuck all that. To be honest, their relationship carries the first half of season 2 part 2, and Aisha isn't used as much in the newest season, but there's still interest in her character because she seems strong and her sense of loyalty is kind of creepy. I'm assuming there's going to be another huge jump in time at some point in the series, and I feel like her character and Eris are going to end up being very similar by the end of the story. And speaking of her, let's go to most people's favorite side character who can probably be the main character in Eris. So I don't know if I need to sell you on Eris being able to hold her own as the main character of the series. I feel like you need a crash course on common sense if you doubt that, but in case you do, her character journey is literally unlike anything we've ever seen, and even more so than Rudeus, she has a lot of things that could be her purpose. You see, Rudeus, he's just a dude trying to live life. You know what I'm talking about? The pursuit of happiness type of shit. Like, he's just going around trying to bag girls, do the magic thing on the side, chill, be happy. Eris, on the other hand, is literally trying to become the strongest swordswoman of all time while retaking her kingdom that was obliterated. She's lost her family and her remaining family betrayed her, and let's just say she's got a lot of shit going on. Even from the point we've seen her from her introduction, you could argue that she's grown more than Rudeus as a character. We haven't really seen anything on her lately, and I'm sure she's gonna make a Marvel character cameo at the end of season 2 and be Rudeus' third wife. I am an anime only. Please do not confirm nor deny my suspicions. That now seems really obvious after the last episode, but I think the reaction she's gotten from the fandom represents the larger issue in media quite well. You see, there's this narrative that people hate when shows mix in different genders, orientations, and race into a story. This is why people dislike these shows, because they claim they're trying to be woke. And don't get me wrong, there's people that hate these shows for these reasons, but the thing is, the vast majority of people that hate on these shows isn't because of any of those factors, but it's because they're just written like shit. The forefront of this argument right now is Star Wars Acolyte, and people are saying the show is only getting review bombed for DEI reasons. And that's not the case at all, because the show just fucking sucks. And I think proof of that is the best show on TV right now is House of Dragon. This is the most inclusion any Game of Thrones series has had ever. And I literally have never seen anyone remotely complain about the show because it just slaps, and low-key has a potential to be better than Game of Thrones, but you did not hear that from me. Point being, in how it relates to Eris, I think it goes to show that nobody who's sensible is going to hate on a character regardless of how they're drawn or what race they are or what gender they are. It's really if they're well written, and that's what matters, and it's safe to say she's probably the best written character in the series, having many flaws that she works on. She fails many times, she goes through deep trauma, she doesn't just bend to the main character's will. So with all that being said, let's go on to the whole and all this logic and this argument, the error and the only one who can tear down this video in Sylphie. Now, I don't dislike her character. I'm sure she's some of your favorite characters. It's not that she's particularly bad written, and it's not like there's anything glaringly wrong with her. It's sort of just like she adheres to most of the negative female tropes in the anime genre, like being committed to Rudeus on a really weird level. And look, that's not the end of the world, but she really does have no goals of her own, and I hear you. By that logic, how is Lilia good and Sylphie bad? Well, Lilia can't use magic and isn't on the king's guard of a princess, and I feel there's so much more potential for her character. She's sort of just there, and I get her personality is timid, but she doesn't do anything to stand out, and she is a nice character. But being the main female lead and so strongly just simping for the main character, not having any moment of her own that stands out, with no character defining moment, the whole argument of strong female characters with depth and unique attributes kind of goes out the window with her. But like I said, she's definitely not a bad character, but for being one of the leading females, there was just a lot of room for her to have moments at least. With all that being said, I still do feel like Mushoku Tensei has one of the best casts in the medium, if not the best, because no other cast has the amount of variability and depth as this one, with almost every character having important moments that affect the world, the narrative, and the main character, with many of them stealing the limelight from Rudeus time and time again. So don't worry too much about what I said about Sylphie being bad. So check out this video on why anime doesn't hit the same anymore, and don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and we're just getting started. We're going to stay consistent, and I'll see you in the next video.